What's up, everybody? I'm Jimmy Davidson, and I am here in Stride Parkour Academy in Houston, Texas. We have Sebastian, the gym owner, and his crew, who we'll introduce you to in a moment. And Sebastian hired us to come on out and launch kind of a lot of stuff. We launched marketing, which is getting you a bunch of leads now. We launched a CRM, which your leads are flowing into. I am here giving you guys a multi-day sales training course, and after I come and go, we'll give you guys like training and leadership and making sure everything sticks and does all that. And so in this conversation, I wanted to connect with all of you guys and just see how this experience has been for you so far, see if it's valuable to the gym, and for you guys, just like the skills that we're learning, do they go beyond just like, can I sell a parkour gym membership, but where do they impact for the rest of your life? So that's what we're going to talk about today on this episode. And first I want to start it with Sebastian. Tell us a little bit about how you got this gym in this place and what have you been doing? Like, how's the business been going up until you started with us?
Okay, thank you. How did I get here? I got here by being inspired by other people who opened parkour gyms. I have some friends that opened a parkour gym. They set the example to show me that it's possible. I started doing classes outside to see if there was interest, and then those classes were filling up. I was looking around for different spaces and just got really lucky to find a sweet deal. So I was able to start really small, and that's part of it, was just like starting really small and going from there. So that's how I got here. And then the next question was how we've been doing since before you guys got here. So I actually did get some mentorship on helping me open this gym, paid mentorship from this other organization that I think you're familiar with. And so they helped me with some basic marketing stuff like the Founders Club, getting people hyped up for the opening of the gym and getting that out there and trying to start with as much momentum as possible. So using all those tactics, I started with, I think it was 7 members 2 years ago. And then from there, growing maybe like 1-2 members a month on average or something. It's been slowly, steadily growing. And I started to see how many questions I had. I constantly had questions. Like I had friends who opened a parkour gym before, but I didn't just have like the handbook of like what to do all the time. I would call them every once in a while, but for this 98% of the time, I'm like, there's just so much mystery on what to do right now, what to do next. There's so many different options, different ways and combinations to do things. And so, coping with that, doing okay, pushing through, but after a while, I started to realize that, okay, this pattern isn't going away, and I'm, getting older and I'd like to start a family one day. So I thought to myself, okay, just, put down the ego, stop pretending like you know things. I don't think I pretend that I know things, but I was like, there's clearly people out here who know exactly what you're trying to do, have a lot of answers, or at least have a lot already figured out, who made a lot of these mistakes already or have learned firsthand. So anyways, it's kind of a side tangent. But since Motion Mentors got here, they made a lot of my questions more simple. And so your question was starting working with you, not just you being here physically, right? Up to this point.
You got it. Yeah.
Okay. So
you guys were growing 2 members a month.
Yeah.
You opened with 7 members.
Yeah.
Didn't feel like it was growing fast enough. You were left with a lot of questions.
And by the way, there are some Facebook groups, parkour gym owners, parkour business owners, where I would put all my questions, so many questions in, and I would get a lot of answers. And what's funny is that a lot of the answers were good and half of them, maybe 40% of those answers came from you. And every time I implemented something that you suggested, it worked. And I was like, okay, let's stop pretending like, yeah, I can do this without a mentor. Like, I already have a mentor. Like, I'm already doing this just on Facebook for free. And so, yeah. One thing that was super noticeable was Jimmy, like a little techie coder mouse, just like went in behind the scenes and was like, all right, show me your Facebook ads. And then, all right. And then it's like, boom. I just had like all these leads come through. I could just wake up and look at my phone. I'm like, what the heck? Oh my gosh. I just had like all these leads. I'm like, what the? Because, you know, there's seasons and stuff like that. And it was definitely a dry season. So I definitely like noticed that. And so up until this point, yeah, it's been fun. It's been a lot of like, you know, experimenting. And so then you come in, you do this sales training with us, and it's really awesome. It's given us a format, it's giving us guidance. It's giving us a method to our badness. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. So we started, before I got here, first thing we did was raise prices.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. We raised prices. Yeah.
So I think you were down in like the 120s or something for your once a week membership. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so we got you up to basically 160 for the once a week membership. You're at 159. Yeah. And then you're at, I believe, 199 and then 249, or no, it's 249 and then 299, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so when you rose those prices, pretty much everyone has an experience of like, oh no, everyone's going to quit. This isn't going to work. Everything's going to fall apart. Yeah. What we did with you was we created like an action plan, right? We made you a letter to give to your members. That letter said specific things that are going to improve about the gym so that it justifies this price increase. Yeah. We don't want the price increase to be like a warning, watch out. We want it to be like a promise for a better future. Yeah. So you got a beautiful new front desk, which you didn't have before. We're launching a bunch of new systems. You'll have someone to actually be at the front desk and help people when they have questions. We got you on a new gym software that, in my opinion, has like, you know, some better user-friendly features about it. So when we finally did raise prices, what happened?
Nothing. Yeah, we sent out that letter and it was just crickets. And I was like, okay. And then I was talking about it in person, you know, we're in after classes. Hey guys, just so you know, we got the email out for the changes to the membership. You guys got it? And they're like, yeah, we got it. Okay, bye, have a good day. Like no one cared. I was like, oh, okay. I had one mom who took me up on the, oh yeah, we'll pay in full for the old price for 6 months. You know, that was cool. But yeah, I think what I would attribute that to is if you're watching this and you started your own parkour program, the parents, the families that you're working with, they see how much you care. They see how much you're a real person and that they feel that you're an honest person, really caring and passionate about what you're doing. And I feel like that's why they were all just like, yeah, like we get it. We have a feel for Sebastian, and you know, we understand that he is not just here to scam us for some money or something. That's the fact that they understand what's going on and they believe it because they feel it. Yeah. That definitely helped. And so if you know you're running a small program like that, they for sure are going to see that from you too. So chances are they're going to believe you. And yeah, it wasn't a big deal, and they were excited.
Yeah. Yeah. When your coaching is good, when they see that your coaches care and they see you, the gym owner, caring, it's especially when you say we're going to improve all these things about the gym, it makes it easy for them to support you, you know? So that's really what we center the price increase around, is we make it occur to the members that this is going to be a good thing for them. Mm-hmm. And it is, right? Yeah. And then it's a good thing for your staff. It's a good thing for the gym. So you had no people quit. You had one people give you a bunch of cash up front, which that always feels good. And then with that, right after that, we launched.
Can I say one other thing about the price increase? One other thing about the price increase I wanted to say was that I didn't feel bad about it because I actually got really excited for how much better I wanted to make the gym, because right now we have a fun program, but we have potential to have really an amazing program. And so it's not in its complete form. And so that, in my mind, made it consistent with my, I suppose, virtue, and made it consistent with my heart, because I feel that in my mind that it's not completely what it could be and what I want it to be. And so I know that, and so, the price also means that it's not what it could be or what would match with what's to come in the future.
Yeah. All right. So on this new price, the next thing is we want to grow the gym. And so what we did together was you got on our CRM, our customer relationship management software, that is specifically for sales. Mm-hmm. And that is when you get a lead in, you got to be able to organize that lead. You don't want it to just like float away. You don't want to just hope that they come in, right? And most gym owners don't even have like a savvy advertisement online in the first place. So just having that is already good. And I don't mean just boosting a post on Facebook. It's not the same thing. Setting up an actual targeted ad with leads who are actually clicking on a dedicated landing page. Another thing we launched for you guys, a dedicated landing page. We did some work with you guys' website too. And now those leads are going into that CRM. So the sales team here can call and email and text those people straight from that computer software. They don't need to use their own phones. They can track the people where they are in the progress of that. Are they a new lead? Have I already called them twice? Are they booked for a session? You can see visually. And this is actually what we're going to go over tomorrow in our 3-day sales training. We're on day 2 right now. Yeah. So we'll do all that tomorrow. And so since we launched ads, compared to before working with me, how has your lead flow been then to now?
So lead flow, well, I guess the amount of leads didn't change too much until you did that one little crazy hack that you did. But as far as the lead flow, that I had a system, but I didn't have a CRM, and so maybe one person every few months would fall through the cracks. And the thing that I was excited about the most about the CRM was the trainability, because my CRM, which wasn't a CRM, it was using my Apple Calendar on my computer, and so that you can't be like, hey, use my computer. So that's what got me excited about it, is that it's all on one place. I mean, I had Project Broadcast, MailChimp, and those were like, so they're great. I recommend those things if you're not going to use a CRM that does it all in one. But yeah, that's what I was excited about. The fact that it's going to be delegatable now.
Yeah, you can make them accounts and train them on how to use it. Yeah. And that hack that we did to your ads, it's an important thing. What we did was specifically tell Facebook not to track just clicks and landing page views. We told Facebook to track only the people, to track as a result, only the people who got to your landing page and then completed your form. And then that would send data back to Facebook. So this is the thing that I set up, so that your website is sending information through your CRM to Facebook, telling Facebook, hey, anyone who looks like this person who did just complete that form, this type of a profile is who my ads should be shown to.
That's more specific.
Yeah. And so then Facebook goes, okay, like I get that, these profile archetypes are whom I should be servicing these ads to, not just like any rando that clicks on the ad and then doesn't take any action. So now instead of paying for random clicks, you're paying for actual results. Mm-hmm. And then we put the Facebook pixel on that tracking page. So now even if people get to your page and then don't take action, but then later they come back to your page like 15 days, 20 days later, and then they take action, or even they just return to your website, website, it'll still send Facebook that information, further fine-tuning who is an appropriate person for you to spend money on. Yeah. And that's so much better than if you just boost a post on Facebook, it doesn't do any of that.
It doesn't care who it's showing it to,
Yeah. And if you just launch an ad and then you throw your hands up, you're like, all right, I got a paid ad going. It is just showing everybody. Like maybe it's showing everyone in the country. And if you were smart enough to zoom it in to just show people in like Houston, in your example, then it's showing anybody who has like a phone, right? And people will click, teenagers will click, kids will click.
It's so funny to see look at the likes on some of my ads, and it's just like a teenage dude like outside of his sports car, like, and I'm like, target audience.
And you paid some money for that, Yeah. And Facebook said, we're doing a good job. You got 1,000 clicks. Good for you.
Yeah.
But in reality, you're growing 2 members a month previously. So now with those heightened ads or heightened leads into your CRM, the goal is we have those leads coming in. You guys just got trained on exactly every way I want you to do sales in person. And I'll ask you about that in a second. And we were saying, you can see all those pieces now click together. And it seems like it'd be unreasonable to not grow the gym at like 5 or 10 or 15 members every month. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that? Do you think that's true?
We'll have to wait and see. But I'm definitely getting the picture that now there is a slippery slide for all the leads to just slide into membership, and then you do more retention strategies and they slide into forever of being with us. And so that's one thing that I definitely feeling, rather than just kind of being disorganized and, having that, just relying on the whimsical, good-willed dude. I'm a whimsical, good-willed dude with a solid team and a smooth, slippery slide for everyone to come in. So
you feel like now you have that slide.
Now. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I'm super excited about it. I definitely agree that now it's just going to be a lot better and smoother and efficient, for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last 2 days, we did all the speaking skills of sales, and you flew me out to do that with your team in person, which is great because you guys saw it's a lot of stuff that you can't just read, right? It's a lot of body language. It's a lot of tonality.
Yeah.
There's a lot of improvisation that just comes up. On the first day, we talked about how to give a gym tour. We talked about the perfect first day procedure, which is like when the client walks in, you don't just hope that they figure it out. You greet them, you introduce them to the coach. The coach actually meets them before the class. After class, the coach walks them back over to the front desk, and there's a specific conversation that happens there, as opposed to after class, the parent just sort of goes, okay, I guess we're done. Grab your stuff, little Jimmy, and then they just leave, right?
Yeah.
So now we have a system.
I've had people just run away.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I say bye to all the other students, and I'm like, oh yeah, so where did that trial go?
They're gone.
Yeah, they're just like, oh.
Yeah. And we know that once they walk out the door, the chances of them ever coming back plummet, right? So that's why there's such a system to curate their experience and deliver them back to the front desk. Mm-hmm. And then we talked about...
That exists, yeah.
He didn't have a front desk, but now he actually has a beautiful front desk now. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so now there's a sales area. And then we talked about, once you have that person in front of you, we talked about assumptive sales language, which is a way to phrase your questions that lead the people to where it is just easy for everybody. You're not asking them unnecessary, erroneous questions. Instead of saying, well, did you like the class? Mm-hmm. You're saying, see if you guys remember, you're saying what?
What was your favorite part of class?
Yes, you're asking what was your favorite part. Right. And that's just one example of assumptive sales language. We talked about the whole price presentation. Now you guys have a visual pricing binder to make that clear so that you're not guessing. And then when they inevitably have an objection, they say, cool, but what about price? What about my co-parent? What about my spouse? What about our other sports? What about my family schedule? Now you guys know exactly what to say at each one of those. And each each one of those goes deep, like a couple rounds. Yeah. So, okay, let me turn it over to you both. Andrew, I'll talk to you first, then Kenzie. Just give me your experience with like, what did you learn? Do you think it's helpful for the gym? And do you think it's helpful for yourself?
Yeah. So I learned a lot of valuable techniques here. I already, had some cool experience, with the gym as it was, but knowing what I know now, it is expanded so much within just 2 days. I see things, everything makes sense. Definitely need to improve on some things, but it definitely makes sense, and it is super exciting because I can now see the vision of what can be, what has been and what can be in that process. So yeah.
All right, so I learned a lot over the past 2 days. I think that the first thing that pops into mind is these are conversations that when you work at a place like this, they're inevitable to have, because you're going to have people coming in wanting to learn more about the place and such. But I learned how to have conversations in a way that makes people want to come back. Like the casualness of the conversations and the flow remains the same. However, there's certain words that you can tweak, or things like saying, what was your favorite part of class? Instead of asking, how did it go? It helps a lot with just bringing the people, getting them to stay, and also bringing them back into the door. As far as, do I think this would be beneficial for the gym? Yes, absolutely. I think I'm like so excited to see. I'm excited for like our next trial class, for them to walk through the door, and so we can put all of these things that we've been practicing into play, because I truly believe that it works. I try to put myself in the position, if I were to walk through the door, what would I want to see, or what would I want to get out of my experience? And I think that through this training, we've covered all of the bases, and I do think that this is going to grow the gym a lot. And then the last question was, is it valuable outside of this and like for personal use? And I'd say absolutely yes. Again, I am majoring in sports administration, so learning the administration part and the sales part of a gym, because yes, I love fitness, and yes, I love to coach. It's making me a much more well-rounded employee, where like if I'm working here or later down my career, no matter what I'm doing, I now know how to use things like assumptive language, and I know what to say, and I guess kind of just how to go about these certain conversations and like the different objections. I know how to carry myself through different conversations, whether it's in the parkour gym or outside of the gym. Yeah, totally.
I have to add also that I think that the way in which you structure the trainings in and of themselves is masterful in that regard, because it's authentic and it's genuine, while also giving that, I mean, obviously it has that sales, but it's authentic. It comes from a place that's of authenticity, rather than I'm trying to sell you on something and that's this. So it's coming from a more authentic place, and it really does, like, I appreciate you coming and teaching this and allowing me to be a part of this as well, because it's honestly, it definitely works. Yeah. It's definitely awesome.
Yeah.
So,
cool. Thanks for saying that. Of course. Yeah. And to touch on that, we talked a lot about how sales is truly us trying to help them improve their life, right? A thing that we touched on the first day is we are not the heroes of the story. Yeah. When that parent comes in, when that kid comes in, that kid is the hero. And we are just looking for how we can be their guides, how we can serve them. So we talked a lot about how the parent might be in a state of anxiety. They're in a new space, a new place, new face. We're trying to sell them a subscription, they probably aren't super familiar with parkour. So if we can have that conviction to be like, I know this can make the difference in your kid's life. When your kid has hours on the mat with Andrew or Kenzie or any of our other coaches, they discover that they are people who can do hard things. They discover what practice is and that it's necessary for success. And that is a life lesson. That goes beyond you've learned how to jump over a wooden box. Now it's how to be like a more complete human. Yeah. And when we have that conviction to do that, and all we have to do is like help that parent lower their anxiety, and we're just gonna you have a scheduling conflict? Let me show you how our gym policies totally resolve that for you. Yeah. Does that sound fair? So yeah, I'm glad you said that because it feels genuine for me when I'm having a sale. It really feels like, and it seems like now it feels like for you guys too, that we are here to serve and here to help. Yeah. Nice. You had something?
Yeah. I just had one more thing to say about the training process. I think that when I was told that we were going to do sales training, I was like, oh goodness, sales training. And then we got here, and it is only 3 of us, but I expected something very brutal. Yes. And when we got here and we're all sitting in a circle chatting, it's only 3 of us, and I assume in other spaces there might be more, but it was, I don't want to say casual because I feel like casual takes away from the amount of information and everything that we received, but for lack of better word, it was very casual in a sense that I'm being trained, but this is still real world because like we discussed, you're going to have people who come in who are very chill and laid back. And you're gonna have people with ants in their pants who are just ready to go. And we've practiced every scenario in a way that feels kind of real world in a way. I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna talk, and I'm gonna, have somebody who just keeps saying no. And sometimes you do have to just be like, okay, well, I can't solve your problem for you, but then you kind of just have to let them go. But you've taught us so many different ways to solve a problem, and in a way that's not just okay, yeah, you have to show up, you have to wear this, we're here for 4 hours, and you have a break at this time, and you're not allowed to talk. And yeah, I've been laughing, I've just had a good time as well, along with learning everything else that I've learned. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, Sebastian?
Yeah, I was going to say that the way that selling something that you believe in feels like, it just feels like you're helping someone make a difficult decision, or making a change, I'll say. Because anytime you want to make a change that is good for you, it's really uncomfortable, it's really hard to do that. And so this training has given us a lot of tools to help that parent lower their anxiety and just have a lot of answers to their questions. Because again, whether it's trying to change your diet, or you're trying to sign up for new things to improve your life in some way, whether it's signing up for therapy or signing up for something to make a change for the better, it's always hard. It's always there's always a bump, and so that's, thinking of it that way helps me. And then the tools you've given us has made it so that it's more smooth to make it over that bump.
Nice. Yeah. So I'm glad that you all think the skills in general are helpful. If you go to sports administration or just generally talking to people and whatever you do with the rest of your life, or continue with the gym, of course. Glad you found them helpful. And it makes sense because if you want to be an effective person, right? So there's an entrepreneur, there's an effective person, there's anything that's up to something, trying to make an impact. There's kind of 3 fundamental skills that if you get good at even just one of them, you can really kick some butt. And they are sales, the ability to, which kind of includes marketing, the ability to attract people in and enroll them into your vision. That's sales. There's leadership, the ability to take a team of people and march them all towards one goal. And then there's product, which is is, can you develop this thing? Can you make the iPhone? Can you build the gym and make the system that actually feels good for people to want to pay the money? So if you can be good at making product, if you can be good at leadership, if you can be good at sales, any one of those three, you can kick some serious butt in life. And we did a ton of sales. And you probably felt that it's probably bleeds heavily into leadership training too. Yeah. Like the way you influence and the way you talk to people and the way you listen actively. We talked a lot about active listening. Huge for leadership. So even just having one of those is going to be huge. And you're trying to do all of them for sure. Like design the parkour gym in a way that actually makes a genuine impact for a kid's life. Design the like policies and the culture and the community so that it enriches people's.
Uses all three of those.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I'm just glad that you guys trusted me enough to come out and give my 2 cents, and glad you feel like it's working. And yeah, as you said earlier, next we have to press that launch button and actually get some trial classes booked, have them show up and make those results happen. And here is where knowledge is not enough. I can come out and I can coach y'all all day long. Like you can read my book, you can know what to do, but then it takes doing. Right? It takes the action. So tomorrow, after I train you guys and here's how to make the calls, here's how to get the bookings, we already know what to do when they show up. Then it's up to you as the gym owner. And we talked a bit about this earlier. So it's like making sure you have hours on the schedule for people to just call the leads. Okay, so at my gym, we found out that morning hours, we get so many of our bookings in the morning, like 9 a.m. to right after school drops off to kind of like before lunch, tons of bookings then. And then if it's like closer to when school gets out or if it's closer to dinner time, it's actually harder to get bookings. So just knowing like, okay, that's where the effective hours are. So if I can just get a couple hours on the clock, even just a few days a week, make a huge difference. So you have that happening every week routinely. Well, then you got to make sure your person is staying sharp. So before they start their shift, we talked about having like a 15-minute just reminder, like, hey, let's drill the on-call script. Let's drill the when they show up script. Let's drill this specific objection. And it's up to you to make sure that you're planning that cadence of practice with your team. And if it doesn't come from you, the leader, then it just drops. And now our results go right. And then after that, you just keep an eye on the results you want to see for the gym. So you would set a goal of, I want to make sure I'm at 10 membership signups a month, or 15 or 20. 20 at my gyms right now, 20 is like the minimum signups per month. Wow. If we don't hit that, it makes us look at our numbers and be like, what do we got to tweak, right? If we can get to like 30 a month, then I'm like, nice, we're doing good, right? So that's my range. For you, you would set what that range is for your gym, and the minimum, and then like the maximum where everyone gets a high five. And then, especially if you guys continue with us in our ongoing mentorship, if you ever like don't hit that, what we would do is we would look at, all right, how much money did you put into ads? How many landing page views did you get? How many form fill-outs did you get? How many calls did your team make? How many bookings did they get? How many people actually showed up? How many people actually signed up? All of those numbers tell me everything I need to know about where is the weak link. And then as long as or if you do it on your own, as long as you just always, you plan time for yourself to look at those numbers and be like, we're getting plenty of leads, but we're not booking anyone. We only made 25 calls last month. That's probably why, right? And then you zoom in and you solve it. And now this is your burden as the gym owner. The results really do come from your management and your leadership, right? Yeah.
Well, I've heard Chris Hollingsworth. Yep. Am I saying that right? Yeah. All right, sweet. In one of the calls, he was saying, everything is on you. And I believe it. I like that. I feel that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And everything we've been describing is it's a lot of knowledge, and you can go about it. It doesn't have to be. You can go about it the hard way and try to do it all yourself. And if you're 18 years old, go for it. But otherwise, put your ego down and get a lot of help. It doesn't have to be emotion mentors, but get assistance. There are people out there who have done what you are trying to do, and can easily help you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say if you are 18 and you then are smart enough to get help, like you're just going to race. So part of my story is like, so I went in the gym when I was 21, and it wasn't until like 6 years later that I was just like staring bankruptcy in the face. I had a kid already. I'd moved away because I had to, and the gym did not grow. I was just living the same year, like 6 years of the gym doing the exact same performance over and over. And then I just got mad, right? And I went on Facebook. I went onto this, like, it was like a marketing group. And I just asked one question of like, can someone help me like launch an ad? It was something like that. And then this dude came over, charged me $5,000 just to teach me how to launch an ad. Only that. And then that was it. But that was actually super worth it because him just showing me, oh, there's layers to this game. Yeah. If I had known that, if I was just smart enough to look up a YouTube video on how to do that, or if those Facebook groups exists, you know, like if Parkour Business Owners, the Facebook group existed, which it didn't back then, or at least there weren't people like in the other groups like with the information that I needed, man, that would have been so helpful. But now it does. Yeah. So if you're wanting to grow your gym, if you feel like you've been stuck for a little too long, you're not seeing the results that you really want, there's my book, $1 Million Parkour Gym, which is free. If you go to Spotify, the whole book is on there for free. Okay, it took me 2 years to write the book and it's free for you because I just want this industry to grow. There's the Facebook group, Parkour Business Owners. As you say, you can pop a question in there. I'll see it. The rest of the gym owners will see it. We'll jump in there. Motionmentors.org. We have tons and tons of free articles, free trainings on our Spotify. We have free whole entire podcasts that walk through specific bits of training. So there's kind of no excuse. And then when you want to speed up, because you mentioned a previous mentorship practice that you did, which is cool. I'm glad you did.
It was before yours existed.
Yeah, before mine existed. But like, they didn't offer a program where a dude showed up physically and helped.
Their program was like, it was way worse. It was like 25, maybe 15% as good as this one. And if you're in parkour, I mean, or Ninja Warrior, or something, I mean, the particular niche, your knowledge from this niche is also really valuable.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so like doing what you did, having us come out, or even doing one of our other packages, like just speeds it up, right? Because what we did is I looked at what you were up to and we targeted exactly what you needed to do next. I didn't just fire hose you with here's everything you could possibly ever do, right? So do this, now we're gonna do this. This just makes it faster.
Yeah, that's one thing I like about having a mentor is they're just like, relax, start with this, and like, because what gives me so much anxiety is like, I have so many things that I could put on my to-do list, I don't even know. And so a mentor helps by telling you, this is your current homework, and so that's like, gives me lots of peace.
Nice. Okay. Any of you guys have any last things you want to say?
I would say thank you again. Like, honestly, this has been a very big change. I mean, I myself, I didn't have any real business like background or anything like that. Like, I've coached before and things of that nature, but this was a different spin, and it was something that I see myself having value in, and see myself like, I'm like, this is actually really exciting. Like, it's a perspective that I didn't see before. So again, I'm truly grateful for you coming out and taking the time to be able to help each and every one of us. And it's been very, very valuable. So thank you, Jimmy.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. All right, last thing I'll say is one objection that we get sometimes from parkour gym owners is they're afraid that we're going to like change the gym or change the curriculum or change how you coach or change like the culture of your gym. I didn't do any of that with you guys, right? It was like, you're missing the whole front piece. Like, we got to do marketing, we got to do sales. Here's how you do it. Right. And that will probably like 2 or 3x your gym given enough time, right?
Yeah.
Now, later on, if we came back and your sales were at, we are getting 10, 15 people every month, and we've grown to 200 and something members, but now at this scale, we're also losing 10 to 15 people a month. Well, then we would look at, all right, let's see how you're doing customer service. We'll see tell me all about your classes, and we'll see if we can find those little tweaks. So like length of engagement and retention is for sure important, but to just get started and to just get some of these fundamental systems, it didn't require that we do that. Funny enough, most parkour gyms actually rock it in the actual parkour area where the expertise really lies.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're, you probably didn't start this because you're just passionate about standard operating procedures, did you? So yeah, put your ego down and get some help.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me. Appreciate you taking the time for the training and also your generosity in this interview here. I really appreciate it. So if you want to make this kind of a change for your parkour gym, just head to motionmentors.org. Like I said, there's tons of free content on there so you can get started. And if you want to speed up and if you want to get these results for your gym, you can book a call with us at our website on the book a call button. Everyone gets a free call. What we do is we look at all of your numbers and see exactly what you're doing. And on that call, I'm going to tell you what I would do. So my whole point is to give you the value to make that call very worth it and get you started. And then I'll tell you on that call what it would look like to have us jump in, help you speed up, help you stay focused, help you hold accountability and all that. So motionmentors.org. My name was Jimmy. Sebastian, thank you for your time.
Thank you as well.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And the banana was because I forgot my boomstick at my house. And this is yours. Thank you.
Thank you.